to Navigating Neva. We are in the full swing of summer, and today we have with us Amanda as our guest, and our co-host Wesley King is back with us tonight. Say hey, everybody.
Hey everybody, I love it when we start with a pun. We are literally diving in to something that's close to everybody's heart, right? Water safety, swim lessons, and raising confident little humans in and out of the pool. Oh, let's keep the puns going, Nicole.
Absolutely. So tonight our guest is Amanda, and Amanda is from Florida. And what else can you tell me about her, Wesley?
She is the author of the Teacher Child to Swim book, available on Amazon in paperback. And it's a practical guide and a gentle guide to help parents turn water time into a life skill. And she has her own company, right, Nicole? Yes?
She does. She has a swim school. So let's welcome Amanda.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have
Absolutely.
you. You've got
Yes.
some good content for all of our guests. So, we're going to be talking. So, for everybody who has no idea who Amanda is, she's our guest today, and she teaches kids to swim. She's built a movement around empowerment and safety and fun, which all of those don't always fit together nicely in the shapes. But if you can get it, that's a real knack that you have. And she's the founder of Sunshine Swimming, a certified water safety instructor. If you guys have been following us, we've been talking about Red Cross lifeguard trainings and different certificates. We haven't done anything on all the swim instructor ones, but WSI or water safety instructor is one of them. And she has over 10 years of experience.
Tell us more, Amanda.
Yeah, so that's me. I have my own swim school. I've been swimming since I was about, I don't know, 7 years old. I asked my mom recently how I learned to swim, and she said, "Oh, I just threw you in." Like, oh, what do you
Yes.
know? So I've been swimming since a long time, and then I swam as a kid through high school. I started my college's swim team. Actually, a friend and I brought the club team back, and then when I graduated, I lived in Tampa, was moving to St. Pete. I met this guy at the Y. Anyways, I married him a little bit later.
Oh,
He said,
us guys always sticking around.
"They're always just out there." And he said, "Oh, you can teach. I know the aquatics director." And I was like, "Okay, great." So we're not sure if it was his connection, their desperation, or the fact that I was a good teacher. I started working at the Y. And then that was like 10 years ago. Had another company at the time. My mom and I had a completely opposite business. And then I had to close after COVID. And then that's why I started my swim school. It's 2 years in August that we've been open.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. And that's the Sunshine Swimming, yes?
Yep. Mhm.
Wow. And the
So,
Florida. I just want to go back real quick. You restarted your college's swim team. Let's not skip over the fun stuff.
mm,
Can you get, I'm just really curious how and what, is there a quick story to that? Because that's cool.
Yeah, I went to USF in Tampa and I was like, I'm going to swim, but they didn't have a division team. They just had a club team. It wasn't really much of a team. So then a friend and I basically brought it back to life and started the team up, had active practices every week. And that's actually how I got started teaching. Was then I met the aquatics director at the facility. And they said, "Hey, we're launching this learn to swim program. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Sure, whatever." I like
I just want
like,
to swim. Yeah.
yeah, here we go. And then that was actually when I started teaching swim lessons.
Oh,
that
so
should
there is
be
a story there.
Well,
Yeah.
that should be her career because I find all these colleges that don't have swim teams, and I'm like, how do you not have a swim team? Like my college had the diving well and the swim team, and then I meet all these people, and our college had a pool. It doesn't even have a pool. I'm like, well, where's your swim team?
Right. Yeah. That would
And
happen.
they're young college people whose neck and arms and backs and knees don't hurt. So really, that was the time.
Now is the
And
time.
yeah, so thank you again for going back to that, Amanda. I was very curious about that. And so, yeah, celebrating 2 years of your business. Share us that story if you would. How'd you get there from the gap to now, and tell us about it a little bit.
So I started teaching in college. That was 15 years ago. So I started teaching and I kept teaching. And then I graduated and my mom and I, we started a business. I worked for a small business. Then my mom and I started a business. And that was about 7 years. And then after COVID, I kept teaching on the side. I was still teaching.
Oh, okay.
Teaching was, I had to pay my bills. So I was teaching lessons. I worked at the Y, met my now husband there. And then, so I just kept teaching. And then COVID happened. I had to close my current business I had, but I kept teaching because even though everything was closed, people were calling me for swim lessons at their house and I could go to their house. So I kept
Hmm.
teaching. kept teaching. We finally closed this first business, and I was like, oh, I can't take a sabbatical. What am I going to do? And I can't go back to work. Like, I can't work 9 to 5 since I've never done that before. Now I was like, well, I guess I'll just teach swim lessons. I'll just teach whatever. And then it just exploded. I have a mobile swim school in Florida, and it just was booming. So I found
Real fast, right?
oh,
That was yeah. Go ahead, Nicole.
So for all of our listeners, you are not the first person that tells me you have a mobile
Right.
school in Florida. It seems that everybody feels they need this brick and mortar, but for the people listening, I know what a mobile swim school is, but people are like, what do you like, bring the pool to me? And I'm like,
They fill
no.
the back of the truck. They
Right.
get a truck. They
I'm
fill
like,
the
that's
back of it with
different.
water.
Right.
And then, no, is that not it? No, I
That's
saw
not
that.
it.
No.
That's not it. So
Tell us about it, Amanda.
yeah,
Yeah.
tell our listeners what this means.
it means that you bring the overhead costs and I bring the instruction. So I
There
come
you
to your
go.
pool, I go to wherever you are, at your home, backyard, community pool, and I teach in Manatee County. So I come into you and give lessons in your home pool, which is pretty popular. There's lots of swim schools and we're still all booked out. So I don't have a facility, which, if you have a facility, that's hard work.
Right, right. And some people's goals are to do that, but also taking a step back, if I recall correctly, and just getting to know you a little bit, there's a lot of fun and safety and parent involvement, correct? And helping these life skills with your philosophy. Talk to us a little bit about your mindset behind some of the core curriculum you put together, the writing the book, and doing a lot more than just going to people's houses and teach swim lessons. You put an entire business model behind it, yeah?
I did, yeah. And that's one of the reasons I don't have a brick and mortar is that my business is not having a large swim school, lots of employees and instructors. My business is how can I teach impact families, but still have reach my other goals of having my winters off all the time. So it's not just swim lessons. I do a lot of parent safety education, getting them involved, not just teaching and leaving, giving them hands-on homework, basically getting them swimming. Yeah, so the parents are very involved and it's at home. A lot of people, they take their kids to a swim school or to someone else's pool, but they want to have that same comfort and security at home because in Florida, lots and lots of people have
Mm.
in their backyard
So
and
what
they
do you
want.
think some of your safety things are that stand out? If I were to go to the Y, obviously I'm going to the Y, and with you, you're coming to us. But what else do I get safety wise with you?
I do a lot of education. So if I walk in and I see a life jacket hanging on your chair, or I see it on the pool fence around the pool, point because people just don't always know. They don't know the dangers of like life jackets or why multiple levels like a fence and door alarm are so important. So education on your home safety, and then I do I do kind of a blend of. I'm not really specialized in survival swimming, but sometimes people think, well, my kid has to do this X, Y, and Z skill. We'd kind of blend onto what they need. Um, what else? Man, these are such good questions. And teaching them just like practical, because they think, well, my kid has to do all of these things and helping educate them on what they need to do and how they can practically achieve their goals of safety and fun right at home. So we're gonna swim back to the wall, we're gonna float, we're gonna really be safe in your home pool because every pool is different.
Well, is that such a big,
Yeah.
that's what I stress now because pools are weird these days. Like
Yeah.
I always used to go, the stairs are in the shallow end, the ladder's in the deep end, and your pool's a square. And now I see like the deep end's in the middle, or like the deep end is this rectangle over there. And I'm like, what bizarre pools these are. So that's so important that parents realize they need to talk about the safety of the pool with their kid because their home pool they know, but when they go and visit another pool,
And you're doing it, it sounds like from the onset. I have a thing called a deck walk where it's like the sights and sounds and we go, but it sounds like you've got that process from right away. What am I seeing? What am I hearing? Right? Is there a life jacket on the ground? Do they even have life jackets? Like these are, to your point, both of your points, these are real lessons that are in my pool or in your pool that every parent can walk away with going, all right, there's a swim lesson, but I also understand how to be safer wherever I go, it sounds like.
Exactly. Yeah. There's not just in the safety things that we're going to swim to the wall. If you can't get to the wall, we're going to go here. We're going to do that. And that helps children feel and parents feel safe. It's not just, we're just going to learn this one skill. We're going to learn multiple skills and
Yeah.
teach the parents. Parents just don't always know.
they don't know. They don't know. They assume, and then a lot of times Hollywood trains them. I watch videos and I'm like, no, no, that's not it. So you
Parents
always have
just
Hollywood to redirect us and not tell us what's reality in the world.
and DJ Jazzy Jeff saying parents just don't understand. So you got Hollywood, you got music, parents just don't understand. And then to that point, it's not just you teaching, right, Amanda? You have a team of people that you work with, some instructors that you instill these principles in, yes?
No, I don't
Or
have any.
just you?
Yeah, it's just
Fair. Okay.
yep.
Fair enough.
I'm one person. I had another company, I had a couple employees,
Okay.
and
Then my apologies.
yeah, it doesn't fit my business model.
Fair.
It's
Well,
just
there's some instructors that try to do mobile instruction and then try to have other instructors do it like them. And so my question was going to be, how do you get people to teach like you? And it's very difficult. So you're right. It is. You are the shining star in the moment because it's hard to repeat what you do.
Well, that's a good segue into your book, Amanda. Wes brought it up and he said it very briefly, but for all of our audience listeners,
Yes.
let's talk about the book. So you designed this book for your swimmers or for your parents?
this particular book is for swimmers. I'm sorry, is for parents to teach their children how to swim. So it covers all ages. So there's a section just for infants, 2 months to 6 months old. How do you introduce and acclimate your newborn to water safely? And then it's how to teach your infant and toddler how to swim right at home.
So how is this not taking you out of business? Like, why would you give the secrets to all the parents?
Well, I can only teach so many families. So, and I travel, I'm just in Manatee County, so I can only work with a small number. And there's so many people that would love to learn how to teach their kids. So having a product, even though it kind of takes on a business in a sense, there's people like I can't teach people in California and I can't teach people in Georgia. So giving parents, and one thing I mentioned in my book too is even if you still enroll your child in swim lessons, you're looking for something to just get you started at home, start here, build some good foundations, and then still go take formal lessons later. But just getting your child acclimated at home, makes a huge difference when they go into group lessons or formal lessons.
It does. And we didn't talk about this, but I'm going to mention it because you seem to have a familiar thing that I could have going. So many parents ask me, what can they really learn or when should you start swim lessons? And as a swim instructor, I can tell a huge difference in a child that has had some sort of foundation versus a kid who comes into you and has nothing. And they don't realize how critical those beginning foundations are. But you learn. I tell them they save money. I mean, you might be wasting your money now on baby lessons, but if you bring me that kid and they have all these bad habits or they have no acclimation, that is a longer learning process than had you have bought this book and read it and knew what to do when your child was little.
Exactly. I mean, if you start now when your kid is 3 months old and you work with it 6 months, it work on the skills at home with the baby for 6 months and then go to these classes. Exactly. Your investment pays off because your child will learn so much faster and grasp the skills much faster.
What I hear both of you saying is this is how to start. Don't be afraid to start. If you can't get to Florida and you can't get to Jordan to see either one of you, or you can't get to the north suburbs of Chicago to see my wife, it's okay to go online. It's okay to use digital resources. It's okay to download a book. Like you don't have to put your child in a program right away, whether it's floating babies or not. We'll leave our opinions there. Point being is what I'm excited about is this should hopefully give our audience members and our parent groups that are listening say, I can just go and download, and at 3 months old, I can get a coloring book, I can get materials, I can get resources that make me feel safe and secure without the pressure of songs or game. And I love songs and games. Like
I
some people, fair,
I will not
fair,
sing the song.
and that's okay. That's my whole point, though. And that's why I love this podcast. Is that's okay, and that's fine. But that doesn't hesitate anybody from getting started, right? Whether you hate games or songs, still download the book. Still get your child in the water. Still learn the steps to water safety. That's what I'm taking away from this, and that's what excites me.
Yeah, I think so. And especially even though we're in Florida, there's still so many people who don't have access to pools and water.
Bingo.
You can do it at home, especially with infants. You can do it at home in the bathtub. So being a resource to people who can't afford or don't have access to the resource necessary to have swim lessons at home or in your community, you still learn the
And
skills and practice them.
to that point, I teased the coloring book. Would you give us a little more background? Because I am serious about it. It's a great tool and resource. It does come online, correct?
Yeah, it's on Amazon right now. And soon it'll be on my website.
Oh, there we go. Okay. See, I'm getting right. I'm getting
So
mixed up,
who's
right?
the coloring book for? What age group? And what is it teaching us?
It's about 2 to 4-ish, 2 to 5 years old. It's water safety principles. So things like don't forget your swim buddy, and there you can fill in blank who's your swim buddy, never swim alone, some water safety things. It's a coloring book. So every sheet has a safety phrase, something like wear your life jacket in the boat with a picture. So it's a coloring book. And so the idea is even if the child can't read, the parent could still read to them and they can color in the letters full.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes, that's awesome. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's on Amazon. Then you can download it on the website. If you send me an email, if it's not on the website yet, it will be as soon as I have a free moment.
Yeah. So since you mentioned that, I want to screen share for everybody that's on YouTube with us. And you can tell everybody what we're seeing. So I pulled up, is this your book?
Yes, that's my second edition, the new one.
So this is available right now. It came out in April of this year, and they can come on here, read a sample, buy the book, and this is your book that the parents can use. And this covers the younger ones as well, right? The 2 months old that you were talking about.
It does. And I have the infant section separately. So if you're interested for being a special guest on this podcast, you can send me an email and I will send you the infant acclimation chapter right to your inbox.
Amanda knows the game. Every week, Amanda must have listened before. Every week, we try to have a special kicker, a special promotion for everybody to keep listening. And now you just got it, and we didn't have to create it. So there you go, audience. That's your reason to keep listening is not only the great content, but email Amanda or tell us that you listen, and she'll send you the infant information. That's phenomenal. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
And you,
go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead. So I was just going to you've made it just not just for infants. It's my understanding that you've put some great effort into the nuances, some of the challenges children have, ADHD, autism, spectrum-based learning. Is there some accuracy to that? Tell us about that. And I'm totally sorry, Nicole. I know that was next on the list, and I own that, and I apologize.
Well, it is. So this is my second edition. My first one, I asked my mom how she liked my book. My second one, she said, "Wow, it's good." I'm like, okay, well, what about the first one? Well, I mean, it was okay.
I love moms.
They're the best critics. That's so great.
Right.
She is. I was like, okay, well, if my mom thinks it's great, you're gonna.
Yeah.
So it is in this new chapter. So I added the entire section. There's 6 skills on how to acclimate infants to water. There's teaching tactics. Because some parents, it's hard to, how do you teach my child? I have a whole list of challenges you can overcome. There's a section just on neurodivergence, sensory issues that children may have, a whole section, because my opinion and strong feeling is that every child can learn, but how we get there is very different. And you have to approach each child, each lesson differently. And if you don't have the skills to teach each child to what they need, it makes it very challenging. So I made a point to put that in the book so you can be prepared to teach any child how to swim. If you have challenges, no judgment, because it's hard. But
Tag phrase. What was the tagline? Every good podcast has a good tagline. Say it again. All children can learn how to swim. It's just a different path. How we get there, I don't want to say it wrong. It was great.
That was great.
I made it up. So I made it up.
Well, we're going to quote it and use it.
Well, let's see. Every child can learn how to swim, but their path to how they get there is different. So you can't just go from A to Z. You have to go A, B, C, D. And some kids go right to Z. And some kids, it's literally a half step every single lesson, but everyone can get there.
We're putting that on a t-shirt. Fantastic.
So, what is the heart of Sunshine Swimming, or what do you feel makes your program different from other programs?
I feel that my program is very gentle. So I have a very strong but gentle teaching tactic. I give kids a lot of autonomy of, I know you don't want to be here, or maybe you do want to be here. And you get to pick. We're going to swim either to this wall or to that wall. So it's not just a forceful program, but they're not just singing while playing either. So try and blend play, decision making, empowering the student to swim too. So because I grew up as a swimmer, a lot of swim instructors I know learn to teach lessons later in life, not when they're 12, wherever swimming at the Y. I actually grew up swimming at the Y. So because of that, I want to make strong swimmers, not just, okay, my child can swim. I want to make strong children, and I want to hear somebody call me in 20 years and say, oh, Miss Amanda, you're the reason I did all these things. So I want to impact children later and have a positive experience. So I'm using swimming to impact children. So it's really about connecting the child, having it be peaceful, joyful, but they actually end up learning to swim at the same time.
They do.
And families too, it sounds like that relationship, not just going to their home, but feeling comfortable in their environment, but also making sure that the families understand this is about how they support the swim lesson beyond the time you're there in that day, and they have the next day and on the boat and at the friends. Well, it sounds like there's a real purposeful effort, not just in your book and in your time with the parents, but outside of that, and your other activities and your water safety programs that you're doing to really build a community and family around this.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned before I opened my own company, I just love swimming. I told my client, I wish I could do this for free. I would just do it all the time. I would just show up for free. I would just love to teach your kid. And then I started my company. I'm like, oh, I can do this. I can do this now. And so I launched a free learn to swim program called Swim Manatee, and we're in our second summer. And so that's another way that I can impact. Last summer, I did 300 free swim lessons through the Step Into Swim funded the program.
Yeah, we know step into swim. Wait,
Yeah,
you say manatee like the fish like the water animal manatee?
a
Man,
mammal.
yeah, mammal. Thank you. Water. I was close.
I live in
Um,
Manatee County.
Thank you. Our one family, our honeymoon was Key West, and my wife loves manatees, and we would see them right there. And anyway, so okay, free manatees, got 300 free swim lessons one summer. That's fantastic. Yeah.
It was chaos.
Wow.
It was
Where
also
do
the
you
only
teach the
lesson.
free lessons at?
There's a county pool in Bradenton, and so I rent space there and they host the program.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you're
wow.
doing that this
Okay.
year too, right? You do that every year since you started?
Yeah, this is my second summer doing it. So it's June and July over the summer. And then I think I'll have a fall program. My goal is to expand the program. And
Hmm.
then I'm also launching another program in the fall. I'm doing I'm going to go into elementary schools and give water safety. I'm working on the title, but water safety education in the classroom will be my fall project I'll be launching too. So I'm trying to use swimming and water safety to impact more people beyond just swim lessons.
So I
Uh,
know you are a mobile swim school and you usually do kids. Do you get older people who want to join swim team or want to improve their strokes or want to be a lifeguard and can't pass the test ever?
I do. Yeah, I just had one girl. She was taking lessons with me, and she just got onto the local swim team. So I'll teach teenagers who want to be on swim team, want to swim better. I will teach adults. I'll have beginner adults, and also teach triathletes or
Hmm.
biathletes who
yeah.
want to go into swimming.
Yeah.
Do a triathlon, but they can't swim very well. So I have a client doing that right now too.
That's awesome.
Wow. Going back to the school system and just playing connect the dots, Nicole, we should potentially see if Amanda wants to meet Miss Dana because I know Miss Dana has at least dropped things off at schools. I don't know. Anyway, total sidebar, but making things happen here. But yeah, that's fantastic. And getting in the school systems is what's needed. We've known that from Phil in New Zealand. We know that from other guests is cracking the egg of the school system is so valuable. Absolutely. So if we can help with that at all, let us know. And then kind of to bring back to the program. Oh no, I know. Yeah, okay. We were talking about really helping parents. And you mentioned the book for the parents. You mentioned getting involved with the parents. Are there things specifically that you would bring straight to the parents? 3 or 4 tips that we would give to parents right away that they should just take home, put in their back pocket, and hold on to forever.
Well, my top two is start early. If you have an infant, start today in the bathtub. If you don't know how, send me an email. If you don't have an infant, you have an older child, just start and get started. And then the second thing is please take off the puddle jumper. Take it off and throw it away. Use it for the boat, open water. A lot of parents use it. I know it's hard and it's scary, and your child can't swim. And what happens if they can't swim? It's hard, but just it's worth it. I actually just read somewhere, I think on Instagram, a story about a dad, and he put the life jacket on the kid, and he took it off when they got into the pool. So in case something did happen, he had it on, but not in the water, to teach kids like an extra. I thought it was very interesting. The first time I have seen that, but it's hard. Invest in swim lessons and get started because if you wait too long, you'll have a 5-year-old who has a hard time in the water. We do not want that.
Fair,
We don't want that.
fair,
To be
very
acclimated, feel
helpful.
safe there. We do. We do.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, I was on the internet today and somebody shared something. It was something weird. It was like a little prompt, and I think the kid was like, always give a high five before you get in, which I thought was good because it was just another way to teach a boundary to your child. Like your child's not going to go and just jump in because you've kind of instilled the give me a high five before you go in, which I mean, I teach parents cues. So I mean, it's just any way you can communicate with your child, don't get in
Hmm.
without my permission, works well. I lifeguarded at the Y in high school, and there was a doctor, and he would come swim laps. And then one day he left and he came back with his baby. He got the baby from the nursery. He never put his kid in a puddle jumper, but the baby was little, little. And he would get in, and they would go under the water to get into his lane line, not over, not get in at the lane line. He would get in and come under. And that little boy at 2 was swimming like a dolphin in our
Hmm.
pool because he had had the exposure and his dad never put him in the puddle jumper. He would swim his own laps and then go get his son. And that I think was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. We didn't even teach kids that little at the Y, yet he did. He taught his own son. So, get those babies in the pool or get your book and get them in the bathtub.
Especially in a state like yours, and I know we've got more to get to, Nicole, but just in Florida specifically, or if you're in a state that has a high rate of drowning or a high rate of home pools or a high rate of these sort of incidences, it's not just swim lessons, right? It's not just fences. I think we're going to hear that a lot. We've heard a lot. It's immediate acclimation. Nicole, like you said, that dad had a comfortable water environment. Putting all those things together, using the coloring books, using the water safety acclimation, so that parents and kids collectively understand, like, this is real in my pool, this is real in your pool, this is real in the hotel, it's real everywhere. And so I think it's important to put all those pieces together for sure.
Well, Amanda, as we wrap up, I will leave show notes for everybody listening, but how can they find you? You're on Amazon, you have a website, you've mentioned to email you.
Yep, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. All my names are different. Sorry. Sunshine Swimming is my company name. You can email me, Amanda at sunshineswimming.com, or find me online at sunshineswimming.com. You can find my book on Amazon, or if you go to my website, everything is on the website. So just start there. And then you can find your way to me. I have also a free Facebook group if you're looking for some other ways and to connect and find other parents who are also learning how to teach your kids how to swim, or you want to hang out with me, you can find me there too.
Is your website sunshineswimming.com?
It is, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we will make
Perfect.
sure we put that in the show notes. Wes, what do you have?
I have the fact that I think this is a great concept, not just for parents, right? We make this podcast and we hope the aquatic world listens. But I think what Amanda has really helped crack us open to the world is the parents and understanding that they have a bigger role than maybe Nicole and you and I have even talked about thus far in all of our guests, right? And I think Amanda did a great job of really presenting the fact that with a great swim lesson, with a great understanding of water safety, with a great calm presence, you can really make an impact on your child's life and your family's life much faster and much more direct than you think you can. And I think that was just something that we maybe haven't tapped into so far. So I just am grateful for that, Amanda.
Well, yeah, I'm all about it. So if you have any questions on it, you just don't know how to start, send me an email. We can chat.
Send an
We'll
email.
just grow. That's what Wes and I are all about. We're like, whoever wants to do more, we want
Yeah.
you to do more. Whatever you've got, we're going to share it with the world. Well, I thank you for being here. I can't wait to see where you take your swim school. I think it's going to make waves. I was going to say leaps and bounds, but definitely waves.
Another
Yeah.
pun. Leave.
Uh-huh.
I starting finishing on a pun. I love it. Keep going. Sorry.
So we can't wait to see where Sunshine Swimming keeps going, and I will put all of your information up here so that everybody can find you. And our episode will be live right before you know it. We hang up, and it goes out to the world.
Awesome.
Thank you again, Amanda. We really appreciate all the insight and information. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been great.
Thank you. All right, for all of you listening, remember to stay safe. I want 0 drownings, and you can find us, follow us, like us, and share us. Thanks so much.